Now check out this story from Sophia.
Hello, my name is Sophia Florin Pollard, and I've been going to Malibu Pacific for now 5 months. It's so easy for us to be so open when we are happy and when we're doing well, but it takes a certain strength that I didn't know that I had to be able to sit down and say, no, I was very, very unhappy. I didn't take responsibility for any of my actions. I had a horrible relationship with my own self. I had a lot of self-hatred, a lot of self-doubt. I had a horrible relationship with my parents, and life was very superficial, and it's an empty way of living. About 5 months ago, enough was enough, and I dropped to my knees. I remember I was outside. I looked up at the sky, and I've never, ever looked up at the sky before. And tears were streaming down my face. And I'm like, I am done. I am done. I don't know who I'm looking up to right now, but I'm looking up in the sky right now. And I'm going to take that as a sign. I want to surrender. And that was coming from me. And I was like, I can't believe that word just escaped my mouth just now. I want to surrender. It's one thing when someone else tells you to surrender and to change, but when you yourself come to a point where you're like, enough is enough, I need to surrender. I never ever showed interest in wanting to be a child of God. I actually always kind of laughed about it. I thought it was a bit dumb. A child of God. When you say that out loud, I thought I could only be a child to my own blood mother and father, but this was different. So I started to write and journal to God every single morning, because it's a new relationship. I needed to form a relationship, to start writing to him every single day. And then I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to take it a step further. I think I want to go to church. And I was nervous to go alone. And I'm really grateful because one of my really good friends from high school, his name is Frankie Churchill, and having someone else my age say, hey, come with me, I know of a church. I was so excited. I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, I'll come. That sounds amazing. I thought falling in love only comes into place between a man and a woman, but I fell in love with a community, and I found community for the first time. I've never felt love in a room with so many people that I didn't know. I thought church was just a group of people who had their lives so together, that everyone was perfect, but it was so comforting to know that everyone in this room has a story and has gone through something, and we're all here, and we're all here together, and we're gonna go through it together. My life now is completely changed. Every day feels like a blessing. Every day feels like a blank canvas, and I have self-love. I don't doubt myself. I don't care as much what people think of me. I am on this journey to become closer to God and become the best version of myself and become the vibrant, beautiful woman that I want to become. And I really feel like Jesus and God has really healed me. And I want to get baptized because I fully want to surrender. And this is such a beautiful, long journey. And I want to get closer to God as much as I can.
Hey, everybody. Wasn't that amazing? Thank you, Sophia, for being so vulnerable and for sharing your story. And we're so excited as a church to help her find Jesus and get baptized and help her be a part of a journey of faith that we are super excited about for her. Every single one of us are like Sophia, that our faith story started with an invitation. Do not ever underestimate the power of an invitation. Sophia was invited to come to church and her life was changed, and your life and my life is changed because of an invitation. That's also true when we go to a restaurant, isn't it? Somebody tells us about a great restaurant, or they invite us, or they tell us about it, and we're like, oh, okay, we'll check it out because of an invitation. And so our entire growth strategy here is go and invest and invite. In other words, go and have a barbecue with your neighbors. Go and hang out with your friends in the neighborhood, the people that you know. God's put people in your life, and the only thing that it takes is an invitation. But it's a little scary for us to invite somebody to church, isn't it? I mean, inviting your friends to church, and that might be kind of weird. In other words, if they don't like church or they're not church people and you're inviting them to church, you're like, hey, come to church with me. And if it sucks, then you're totally embarrassed. And then I don't know where the friendship will go from there. So there's this big hesitation with inviting our friends to church. We get that. And that's why we've created environments here that we want consistency every single week. We want the church to be a great place that they would have fun and find the information helpful. And even though they may not agree with the information, they would say, you know what, I enjoyed myself, and that actually was helpful. I may not agree with them in their theology and who God is, but I'm going to come back next week. The problem, again, is that unchurched people look at church and say, I'm not a church person, so I don't want to go there. And the problem with people who are disconnected with God is the church. The problem is the church, because it's churchy, there's religious language, there's inside Christianese language. We Christians speak a Christianese language that many people don't even know what we're talking about. And so they're like, you know, that's a foreign culture to them. And the problem with people growing and in their faith and growing spiritually is the church, because there are no bottom rungs on the ladder. The cookies are too high on the shelf for them to get. They just don't get it. And so when Jesus said, I will build my church, people gathered around Jesus and they loved to hang around Jesus. People who are far away from God, unreligious people, imperfect people, messy people love to hang out with Jesus. And actually, Jesus wasn't all that worried of the religious people. He didn't even hang out with the religious people. People far from God, unreligious, love to hang out with Jesus. And I think that we as a church should be just like that, because we are the body of Christ. If anything, we, the church, should be the most inviting and welcoming, and the people hanging around the church. People who are unchurched should love to hang around the church because they're hanging around the body of Christ. That's exactly the way it was with Jesus. So I think, you know, things have gotten turned around. That church today, we think it's for religious and perfect people, and unreligious people, people far away from God, think, that's not for me. And it should be the opposite. If anything, the local church should be the most irresistible place, the most inviting place, the most welcoming place for unreligious people, unchurched people, people who are far away from God, should feel more welcome like no other environment that they ever go to. Even Disneyland. We should out Disney Disneyland. Imagine that, the local church, that people say, I want to go there, I want to hang out there. That's exactly what happened a long time ago. And this is our strategy then for inviting people. In John chapter 1, verse 43, it says this, Then the next day, Jesus decided to leave Galilee, and finding Philip, there's this one guy, he said, hey, come follow me. That's Jesus's invitation to all of us. Come follow me. Come hang out with me. Be with me. Follow in the steps of the rabbi. And Philip, like Andrew and Peter, who also were following Jesus, they were from the town of Bethsaida. And Philip found Nathanael. Philip had a friend. His name is Nathanael. You have a friend. I have a friend. You have a neighbor. You have a coworker. You have people in your life, another coach in the Little League or the soccer league or somebody that you know who is far away from God, who's unchurched. You have a Nathanael in your life. And my question to you is, who is your Nathanael? So Philip had a friend. His name is Nathanael. So he went to Nathanael and he told him, hey, I found the one. I found Jesus, the Messiah, the one whom Moses had been talking about, the one who the prophets had been prophesying, that the Son of God, the Messiah, he is here. He's alive. He's with us. I found him. And he is the son of Joseph. And he said, well, where is he from? Nathanael asked Philip. And Philip said, well, he's from Nazareth. And Nathanael said, Nazareth? Can anything good come from Nazareth? That doesn't make sense in my theology. You mean go to church to find God? I've been to church once and I never found God there. It was just a bunch of religious people with a bunch of religious rules. So your Nathanael will have questions that you probably don't have the answers to. We're not expecting you to know the Bible or have the Bible memorized. And your friends, and the reason why I think we're afraid to invite our friends is because they may ask something that we don't know. And it's true, they may. And this was Philip's response to his friend Nathanael, and let it be our response to when we invite our friends to come to church. He said, can anything good come from Nazareth? And Philip responds, I have no idea. I don't know the history. I don't know theology. I don't have my Bible memorized. I don't know. Did you know it's okay for you to say to your friends, I don't know. Come with me to church, or this is who Jesus is. Well, Jesus, is he this? Is he that? And I heard this. And how did the dinosaurs fit into the ark? And was, the creation 7 days? And how does a good God let bad things happen to good people? I don't know. And his response, Philip's response, let it be our response. I don't know the answer to that, but here it is. Here's our response to people. Come and see. Just check it out for yourself. Come and sit with me. And so we want to encourage you. We want you to be bold in your invitations, because we're in the series that we've been talking about, making room for more. We are full on a Sunday morning, and our parking lot is full. And the reason why we need to go to 2 services is because we need to make room for more. That as long as there is a Nathanael out there in Malibu and beyond, we need to have an empty seat. And here's our response. Come and see. Come sit with me. I don't know all the answers. I don't know all of the Bible. I don't have it all memorized. I don't know. But just come and see. I will be saving a seat for you. So we're making room. We're making room here at Malibu Pacific Church with 2 services. And we want you to be bold in your invitation, because now we don't have room. But by making 2 services possible for the people in our community at 2 different times, we are making room for more. And so our response is, come and see. Come and sit with me, and we can learn together. Whenever your invitations to be bold, they give you clues when to invite them. When people, the Nathaniels out there, are struggling with something, they may say, I'm not in church. When you hear a not, that's our cue, that's my cue, that's your cue to say, well, come to church with me. Come sit with me. Or when they say, things are not going well, that's the clue right there. Oh my goodness, things aren't going well with you, or life is tough. Come with me to church. You may enjoy it, and I think you're actually going to find the information helpful. When things are not going well, this is the perfect time to go to church, because we believe that Malibu Pacific Church is a place where we can come alongside you and help you through these different seasons of life. Or somebody may also say, I was not prepared. That's a clue to invite your friends. I was not prepared. Oh my goodness, come with me and sit with me at church at Malibu Pacific Church because I was not prepared for that. I was not prepared for that divorce. I was not prepared to have a baby. We never had babies before. This is our first one. We were not prepared for that. Or you just got married. I was not prepared for that. Or you're an empty nester. I was not prepared for that. Or you're just getting retired or just retired. I was not prepared for that. Or they just laid me off. I was not prepared for that. Or I'm coaching Little League and I've never coached Little League before. I was not prepared for that. Or you have a junior higher in your house. That's a time I was not prepared for that. All of us have a not prepared for that. We as a church want to come alongside you and help you through these different seasons of life because life is complicated. We know that you're trying to get it right. So we're here to help. Come sit with me. Every life journey, faith journey begins with an invitation. Your faith journey began because somebody invited you somewhere. So let's do that for somebody else. So when you come alongside your Nathaniel, your friend, and you hear them say, I'm not, that's your cue to invite them to come to check it out, to sit with you at Malibu Pacific Church. We're super excited about making room for more. And God wants to partner with us and partner with you. And we want to partner with you to help lead your friends to Christ. We promise that we will create environments that are quality, you will not be embarrassed about. Your friends will actually walk away and say, wow, I wasn't expecting that. I enjoyed myself. The information was helpful. And you know what? I'm going to come back next week. That's a win. And your invitation has the power to change their generation, their family, their world that will impact the next generation and the generation after them. Never, ever, ever underestimate the power of an invitation. So just say to your friends, come and see, come sit with me. And let's watch God do amazing, amazing things in changing people's lives, like Sophia's life, who was changed. There's many more Sophias out there whose lives will be changed because of your invitation. Thank you for all that you're doing. Thank you for praying. Thank you for giving. Thank you for serving. And thank you for investing and inviting your friends. God bless.